I no longer feel comfortable with my boyfriend. I wrote a post a while ago about how I found out my boyfriend of 7 years was using dildos for majority of our relationship, found his toys in his closet while I was looking for socks. We talked a few days after I found them and I let him know that although I don't judge him or see him differently for using them, except for being turned on by his kink, I do feel like I wasn't trusted with this information and that hurts. When we spoke about it, I didn't want to throw 1,000 questions his way even though I have so many questions. I wanted him to feel like I accept him for who he is and nothing has to change with us being a loving couple because that is how I feel. I told him I don't want to make it about me, but I do still have a lot of questions, but we don't have to get into them at that moment. So some backstory, we struggle to communicate well sometimes. There are moments we start these screaming matches and don't stay on topic when trying to talk about something difficult. This has sadly created trust issues and even some lack of confidence for both of us. This has been something in our relationship for years, and this last year or so, I've really been trying harder to approach our conversations with more patience, calmer tone, and overall talk more about the shit we upset each other about. I just can't continue if we don't progress, and talked to him about trying to do the same and he agreed. I don't want to say he hasn't been trying because that's not the case, but I don't feel like he truly feels the way I do about wanting to correct our communication habits. I feel that lack of trust and bad communication is basically an end-all for a relationship. I am aware he has valid reasons to have not came to me about his kink. I don't blame him, but I do feel a lot of blame towards myself. Anyway, before finding out his secret, I always felt that as bad as our communication can be sometimes, I truly believed we could trust each other and communicate openly about what we liked or what we would like to try in the bedroom. Discovering that I was all wrong about how open I felt we were, has crushed me. I am taking it way harder than I ever expected and have come to believe we are all wrong for each other if we don't have an area we are 100% confident with each other in. I've expressed to him I think it's a turn on and there is no judgment, but he still avoids the topic altogether and hasn't shared an experience with me. He never mentioned he wanted ass play, he would just tell me I can do whatever I want, but never thought of forcing something on him without his consent. I've slowly been trying to pleasure him down there while trying to read his vibe, but there was a moment I asked if he enjoys me touching him like that and his response was I like that you like it, making it feel like he's just throwing me a bone. It seems like he's gotten more into pretending it's not a kink of his. I hate that I've learned his ways without trying. I know when he's about to play with himself while I just hang out in the living room. I know how often, I know his tells and I can't stand knowing. I don't think he knows I can now tell when he's doing it or has done it. It really breaks my heart being this left out of my partner's kink. I don't know if I'm just being too emotional or trying to control the situation. I just know I feel like I lost him and like I don't know him at all. All I would want for him/us is to gain his trust and confidence and be the person he can be comfortable expressing his insecurities with. I would never expect this to happen overnight, but I've realized that this is an end-all for me. I can't be in a relationship with a person who can't trust me with something so personal. I don't expect him to not pleasure himself when needed, I just expected him to want to share that with me at least a few times since he started doing it. I don't even know what I'm expecting from posting this except maybe someone to talk to or to find out if I'm being too emotional about the situation. I have been pretty down these last 6 weeks or so, been having random anxiety/crying attacks when I'm alone that I haven't mentioned to my boyfriend, and my appetite has been dwindling. I know in the end, even though I'm madly in love with him, I need to take care of myself. I guess my question would have to be, does this sound like healthy behavior from both of us? Not sire, how else to see it? Comnet. Sounds like he is ashamed and wants you to do it to him. He doesn't want to admit to liking it but wants it to happen. He wants to be dominated basically. Set up a safe word and then see where things go. Only if you are comfortable. Gosh, this is a tough one because I had something similar in a marriage. And I hate calling almost every man with a few narcissistic flags a narcissist. I'm not saying that I think your man is one, but I'm not 100% sure he isn't. And not all narcissists enjoy that, nor does that one thing make him a narcissist. And there are a lot of red flags with a narcissist. It is just so exactly how my ex was about it, and he is a narcissist. Having said that, regardless if he is a narcissist or not, it was a breach of trust for him to keep that hidden, and for so long at that. I know you said not to tell you to leave him, but I don't know what exactly you do want to hear. There cannot be a healthy relationship without trust. Without communication it isn't going to be a happy relationship, and he seems to want to pretend you never discovered his secret. He obviously doesn't want to share his kink with you. How long do you think you can go on pretending along with him? It's going to wear away at the relationship if it isn't resolved satisfactorily now. Good luck. Although it's slowly becoming more accepted, we're still a bit of a way off from male anal stimulation in hetero relationships being seen as a totally okay thing and not closeted homosexual behavior. There can still be a lot of taboo and shame attached to it for men who aren't comfortable talking about it because of this. Perhaps he opened up about it to an ex and was ridiculed for it, and it scarred him, regardless of how willing and open you're being about it. Have you suggested the idea of a strap-on to him? It would give him the feeling of being. Next story 2. I've been hanging out with my ex and don't know if I'm being manipulated. My ex and I dated for about 8 months from October to late April. It was really good for the first couple of months and we had a really good connection. Around 3 months we started arguing all of the time. Most of our arguments were started by her, but I did play a part in getting defensive and frustrated. We broke up after 4 months of arguing over small things that just blew up way out of proportion. She broke up with me and we went no contact for 3 months besides a text she sent me in my birthday. I was pretty broken over the breakup as I felt that it was something we could work through. But I took the time to see and understand what I could have done better during the relationship. I consider myself a lot more patient and understanding now than I was while dating her. Unfortunately, I don't see any progress within her. She spent the majority of the breakup out with friends at parties and hangouts. Recently, we had been texting back and forth and it eventually led to us hanging out. She has been clear that she doesn't want to date again, and if we ever were to, it would be in about 4 years when she's finished college. After the first time hanging out since the breakup, I don't think we have gone a single day without seeing each other. When we are together we do couple things and are affectionate with each other in the same ways we were when we dated. It kind of is frustrating because I don't understand how that could be different than dating. She also gets jealous when I hang out with my female friends. We've been arguing a little bit more recently over small things again. I try to remind myself that though it seems small to me, it's bigger for her. And I've been pretty patient with her. But it feels like she's taking me for granted. My friend looked over our text messages and told me that I was being manipulated by my ex. I had never really realized, but after she said that, I realized I might have been and am. I feel like she always finds a way to make an issue we have my fault, and when I come to her about how I'm feeling, I end up being the one who is apologizing in the end. How do I know if I'm being manipulated? Is it unhealthy to continue acting as if we are dating? Comnet. This does not sound like a good idea. For one thing, your initial relationship was only good for, 3 months? Then it deteriorated. That's not promising as these things go. Now you are reliving the same dynamic. Arguing over small issues. Her blaming you, taking you for granted, etc. She is the same person she was when you broke up, and you broke up for a reason. Whether it is dating or not dating is irrelevant. Putting a label on it is not going to make it a better, healthier, fulfilling relationship. You are concentrating on a tree and not seeing the forest. You need to completely cut this person off until you can get over your romantic hopes and feelings. Maybe you can be friends at some point, but that point is not now. You are only 20, Up. There is a whole world of wonderful young women out there. Date some of those. Good luck.